In this video, the characters are using both Game Modules 4 and Projectile Factory. The archer here will shoot an arrow with the Projectile Factory, and the damage on the characters is handled by Game Modules 4. In this video, we're going to walk through the process of connecting the two together so that you can cause damage with your Projectile Factory projectiles in Game Modules 4. I'm going to be walking through the instructions here on the documentation. This video will be at the top of the documentation as well. Rather than implementing everything one by one, I'm going to walk through what I've already done in my own project and explain each step along the way. First, I want to point out that Game Modules 4 has a new Projectile Factory integration folder in the scripts with the Projectile Game Modules connection script in it. And the Projectile Factory has been updated with the Game Modules 4 integration package and a README that sends you to the documentation. If you double click this, you can install these files into your project, but keep in mind, errors will be thrown if you don't have game modules already installed. Now, I've already imported those into my project, so we're going to move on to step 2 and check out the IM Game Modules Actor interface. The IM Game Modules Actor interface looks like this in the Game Modules 4 package. Note that the iAttackable is commented out. However, there is an iAttackable interface as part of the small game demos, but if you didn't bring that into your project, then this would throw an error. This is what it looks like in my prototype. Now I've removed all the comments, and I've uncommented the iAttackable. This interface inherits from another interface. And this custom action method here allows you to call any custom method that you add to your iAttackable interface. Your interface doesn't actually have to be called iAttackable. It can be called whatever you'd like, as long as IM Game Modules Actor inherits from that. Just keep in mind, if this file ever gets updated in a future Game Modules 4 update, you might need to restate which interface this is inheriting from. I have a lot of different properties here, but the take damage is the one that we're going to be using as part of this flow through Projectile Factory to Game Modules 4. All the things in my game which can be attacked are an attackable object. They're all going to be using the Game Modules 4 to hold their data, which I have saved here as an actor called data. Actor itself inherits from Game Modules Actor. Currently it has no methods, but I'm sure I'll be moving some methods there eventually. Your actor class should also inherit from Game Modules Actor or Game Modules Inventory Actor if you're using the drag and drop inventory system. I have my IM Game Module Actor properties defined right here, and this is my custom action method. You can just copy this if you'd like. This part of the script is also listed right here in the documentation. Now you have to set up the projectiles themselves. If you haven't already, install Game Modules 4 integration from Projectile Factories. That'll give you these 4 files. Note that these two are Projectile Factory objects which have already been created. So in my projectile here, I've added in the spawn modifications, the connect game modules. There's no fields to work on. You don't need to do anything. This is just required to connect the game modules. And then in our behavior, we've added the game modules connection hit, and this does the lifting of actually calling the take damage. You'll also want to add the projectile game modules connection component. When you first load this up, you'll find the do damage method. This has a comment here, see the documentation with a link to the documentation, as well as this log warning. And the custom action here is commented out. This repeats down here just in case the object we hit is not itself the Game Modules Actor. We will search for all the parents for that component. Now you can delete all of the comments, the debug log, but once you do, you're going to have to make sure your take damage method is populated in your interface, and also the signature is correct for your project. In my prototype, the signature is a float damage and an IM Game Modules Actor attacker. Your game may compute damage differently than mine, so your signature will likely be custom, which is why you're going to be putting it in your custom interface rather than using something that I've made for you. Now, of course, you do have to set up your projectile spawner and call your projectile as needed. Follow the Projectile Factory documentation for details on how to do that. Now, when we press play, the archers will fire arrows that are controlled by Projectile Factory. When they hit, they will do damage as controlled by Game Modules 4, and the custom code and logic you've written to handle damage in your game. If you have any questions, come to the Discord, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.